Hello everyone, welcome to the Ranting Shop. It's me, Melissa. Today I'm stepping into the shop to talk about the Never Ever Mets again. This is episode 2, season 1. Let's get into things. Now, we are coming off the backs or the heels of that fight with Dominique and Alexis. Now, they decided to go on social media and tell their stories.
Y'all the whole fight. God damn. The fight was fake.
So the fight was fake. Did anybody tell y'all to do the fight? Did they tell y'all?
We can't.
So their thing is that everything was fake. Their relationship was fake. The fight was fake. It's production's fault. I was drinking. I was drunk. She pushed me. She won the fight. I don't hit women. I don't even hit my children. Blah, 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 blah. Everything that came on people's platforms to say made them look 10 times worse. Because, okay, fine. We as the audience, we're not stupid, especially us that actually follow these shows. We're definitely not stupid. So coming and do interviews and saying that it's fake is not going to alter our opinions, because we are able to decipher what is fake and what is real. Okay, so we could give you guys the benefit of the doubt and say that the premise probably was fake. You guys probably were not in a relationship. You guys were probably friends, right? We could say all of that. That could be very true. But the reason why we don't find that alarming is because we already feel like half of this cast are friends that came together and decided, let's just see how this goes. Nobody is shocked by that. Okay? Second, saying that the fight was fake. We're not dumb. It wasn't fake. Because initially, prior to doing those interviews, he was on everybody's platform talking about, oh, I don't hit women, and oh, it's production, and oh, she hit me first. So if it in fact was, if the fight in fact was fake, then why do you feel the need to come on people's platform and state that actually she hit me first and she won the fight and she was provoking me and I was drunk? Why make all these excuses if it was fake? So that already proved to me that you guys are lying. And then Alexis actually decides to come on the platform with him, defending him and saying that it was fake and for TV at her detriment. You're the one the man boxed up. So I don't understand why you feel brave to come on people's platform saying that was a lie. You look stupid. The man boxed you up, remember? So to come on people's platform and say the fight was fake, we were drunk, when y'all in fact were laying hands on each other. We're not stupid. Don't ever get it twisted. Don't ever think that you guys can come on people's platforms and sway our opinions. That's not gonna sway anything, because we see beyond what you guys say. We have deductive reasoning skills. None of us are stupid. Right? That fight was very real. You were very much upset, Alexis. Right? And at this point, he probably buttered you up and said he's sorry and it's production that made him do this and production that made him say that and production made him fight and production made him talk about her badly. So she's eating that up because she doesn't want it to be true that it was genuinely him being an a-hole and an abuser caused the behavior. So she's coming in there defending him, looking dumb as hell. And after watching the second episode, it just further solidifies the fact that they did these interviews on YouTube or social media to get ahead of the enemy and make them not look so bad, but it ended up making them look even worse. It made y'all look worse. Because after they decided, okay, they have to leave. Both of them have to leave. You can't put your hands on each other and think you guys are gonna be able to stay. Okay? So, there's that. But don't come and they're making her see his video response because he had to be taken away from the house, brought to a hotel, and they made him do this video response for her. And he's basically saying, oh, let's sweep this under the rug. I was drunk. This is the first time we're getting to meet each other. Excuses, excuses, excuses. Now, what really was alarming to me was him saying, let's sweep it under the rug. This is not something you sweep under the rug. You guys have been knowing each other now for a very short period of time. And for this to already be coming out of you, it's problematic. It means that is the person you are. You are an abusive person. Right? And she said, oh, this has never happened to her before. I definitely feel like she's fought before. She's been in situations where she's had to fight. Maybe with other women, but I think she's definitely been in positions where she had to fight. Right? He didn't even seem remorseful. When they found out that they were leaving, he adds insult to injury and says he's back on these online streets and to hit him up. This is what makes us reviewers believe what we believed initially, which is that this man doesn't care for this woman, he doesn't like her, and he's an abusive person. That's all that justified. Everything we ever thought was justified in the second episode. Any woman that proceeds to hit him up after this likes misery. They have trauma that they need to work through. The funny thing about them is that they made sure to clear their names and said all of this was fake. Even the fight, as if it would help their case, but it only made them look worse. Especially her, Alexis, with her dumb self. But anyways, let's move on. Chris and Sandia. So this is the couple where Chris decided, I'm gonna boast to the other men that I don't care about women, I don't trust women, I get B's, I F B's, I drop B's, I do all these things. So what was made clear to me about the after conversation he had with Sandia is that there's an understanding that both of them are not together. They're getting to know each other and they're taking it slow. But what really pissed her off is how he communicated that to the other men. It almost seemed as if she was one of many women he's just dealing with. When I'm pretty sure that's not what he's ever communicated to her. Right? And my thing about him is he's saying they're not together, but then he's calling her his woman. So it leads me to believe that he's giving mixed messages. He has a particular response for his buddy friends, and then he tells her a completely different thing. Right? So he feels the need to have to please people. He might very well be a people pleaser. To the men, he has to come across like he's in charge and he's a boss and he gets women and he's not a simp and he's not soft. And to the woman, he's all these things. Right? It might be a self-esteem issue. I said, why was there a need to boast to the men that you don't trust women, but you're on a show about meeting a stranger you met online? Does that make any sense to anybody? Are you testing your hypothesis? Are you trying to figure out, oh, let me see if I really don't trust women? So, let me meet this woman I'm talking to online. You're contradicting yourself, mate. Because if you don't trust women, I really hope you're not going to want to start with a woman you're talking to online. where people have facades, where people put up personas and representatives. That's where you want to start with trusting women? That's crazy. Okay, so let's go on to Joanna. Apparently, she's a sexologist, but we have seen zero chemistry between her and that guy Aaron. Zero chemistry. She is not attracted to that man in the least. The first time she met him, she was already annoyed by him. And I even feel as if before meeting him, she was annoyed by him because remember, he lost his identification card before they even met, which annoyed her because it's like, you as a grown A man, your stuff is not in order. And then the date comes and it further proves that he's not in control of anything, right? And she has to be in her masculine energy, which she doesn't want to be in. So all of that is annoying her. And for me, I wouldn't be aroused by him either. There would be no chemistry between me and him because nothing you've done or nothing you're doing is showing me that you're in control of your life. So how would that be attractive to anybody, to any woman going into that situation? It just wouldn't be. So I think they're the real friends of the situation. I know Dominique and Alexis came in front of the cameras to say their stuff was fake. But I'm more inclined to believe that Joanna and this boy Aaron's relationship is fake. That to me is more believable. I don't even believe that they have a romantic connection at all. They seem fake, as I said before. The relationship is fake. They know that they're not interested in each other, but they decided, okay, let's do this. I want to get my sexologist business back in running or whatever, and he wants to do whatever he wants to do. And they just mutually decided, let's come on this show and fake a relationship. I have a hard time believing that their relationship is a real one. I don't even think she wants to kiss him, touch him, or anything. And neither do I think he wants to do that with her. They just seem extremely mismatched, if I do say so myself. And it was proven when first of all, this whole Kama Sutra exercise in front of everyone, it is awkward and it is embarrassing, right? Why not find someone well versed in that area to lead this exercise? Everything on this show just seems thrown together last minute. I really hope there's not a second season of this mess. First of all, the host has no background in sexology. She doesn't know what she's talking about. I don't even think she has any knowledge of Kama Sutra. Right? They just gave her these cards and they told her, okay, lead this exercise. Horrible. At least find an expert. At least take Joanna and use Joanna, even though we saw no sexual chemistry with her being a sexologist. But make someone that is well versed in that area lead that area. My goodness, the budget is not budgeting. So, Millie and Jonathan, I found their pose to be funny, and the fact that Jonathan decided he's gonna just lift up Millie's feet and pull her to him was hilarious to me, because I feel like he wants to show her that he's this alpha male, but I really don't think he's giving alpha male. He's giving very much metrosexual, not alpha male. When they were talking, she said she does feel comfortable with him, but she wants to take it slow. Rightfully so. I don't understand why men are so reckless in that regard. They will sleep with strangers in a heartbeat and worry about the consequences later. And it's just like, you could avoid all this by taking your time, getting to know that person, and trying to figure out, does it even make sense for us to go further? But I feel like the bottom line for men is sex. Whether it goes further is not important to them, which is why they don't place priority in curating a partnership that is long lasting. You know, he wants to just, whatever time you're ready, I'm ready. And it's like, how about take it slow, get to know me, see if we're compatible, and see if, because a lot of adults, they have this mindset that because they're grown, they can engage in risky sexual behavior, right? They're grown. But this has nothing to really do with an age and everything to do with the fact that you're supposed to be making smarter decisions as an adult, right? Yes, you guys are grown, and I suppose you can handle the negative consequences of being sexually promiscuous and haphazard, but that doesn't mean you should do it. That doesn't mean that should be the approach you should have, right? But anyways, men, they don't think. They just act and figure out the consequences after. I just don't get it. Millie and Brandon. Now, by the time that sexology thing occurred, it appeared that she was annoyed with him. Perhaps they had a conversation prior that pissed her off, who knows. And she initially was like, oh, I'm willing to come to Florida, I'm willing to make that sacrifice. And then later on, she's actually demanding that he moves to New York. And I'm pretty sure she knows this man has children that he cannot be too far away from. So we're getting two different Millies. A Millie that appears to be understanding and cooperative, and a Millie that wants what she wants and doesn't care how she gets it. These are two different people. It's making me believe that she has some sort of bipolar disorder, or is it that she is a Gemini? I have no idea, but these vastly different conversations and change of opinions, it's alarming to me. Right? Because you can't be willing to move at first and then now you want him to come to New York. And he rightfully calls her out and tells her, you are an inconsistent woman. And she is. You're playing games with this man. Right? I think she finds humor in playing games with people. Then the worst thing is she calls him out of his name. She calls him a B 2 times. Which is disrespectful, and it was uncalled for. She's trying to throw the spotlight back on him because now she's in the spotlight and she's being, rightfully called out for her inconsistency, and she's being rightfully called out for being maybe manipulative even, and she doesn't like that. She can't take it. So she has to throw it back on him and tell him that he's had multiple kids by multiple women. And I feel like that's foul because you knew that. You knew that prior to coming on this show that he's had 2 failed relationships and 2 children came out of it. So why are you now throwing that back in that man's face? This is what men are afraid of. Men are afraid that they are vulnerable to you, and then you go take their vulnerability and weaponize it against them. When you feel slighted. Men don't like that. And I don't know any woman, any man, any human being that's going to like their insecurities and their issues being thrown back in their face as an insult. That's disrespectful. So she's trying to say, you're the one that's inconsistent because you had multiple children by multiple women. That didn't hit like you thought it did, girl. We're talking about you. So she hits below the belt when she's being called out. That's a dirty fighter. And I said, no wonder she's single. She's combative. He explains that him being married was a young, naive choice he made after he got someone pregnant. Understandable. A lot of people do it. They slip up get somebody pregnant, and the southern thing to do is to marry that person. That's considered the right thing to do. So, societal pressures, parental pressures, he marries the woman. But seldom do these types of relationships last. Because the foundation was not on love. The foundation was on making the mess of a situation look good by societal standards. So if you start off the relationship wanting to please society, and putting yourself last in the process, you cannot expect for a relationship like that to last. It's just not going to work. Right? So she's calling it breaking a promise. Oh, he's been breaking promises. He's the inconsistent one. And I see that in a totally different regard. I see it as this man has been honest with you and told you these things that he's went through, and you're using it as an insult towards him by saying he's the one that's inconsistent. No, you're inconsistent. People get married and divorced all day. You don't know the details of why the people got divorced. You don't know if it was a mutual agreement between both of them. And even if it wasn't, for you to use that to throw in that man's face, disgusting. Okay, he had 2 failed marriages. At least you could tell that he's one to love commitment. He's one to marry. He's the marrying type. At least that's a positive thing, I thought. But I guess she sees it as, well, if I marry him, it may not be long term. Things happen in marriages. Marriages don't always last. That's why you figure out these things now and not rush to marriage. Right? I said that your A is still inconsistent and possibly bipolar. The corporate representative is being peeled back and we're seeing her true self, and it's scary. She's definitely projecting her insecurities and issues onto him. It's giving avoidance, an unwillingness to look at herself in the mirror for the flawed person that she is. Sienna brings their convo to the group, which makes it even worse, to further embarrass him. And I think she thought the women would be on her side, but they were not. The women were on his side, rightfully so. And she knew this information about him before. So why is it a problem now? Now that he's calling you out on your BS. And the funny thing about it is, according to her, other partners have said the very same thing about her, that she's inconsistent. And clearly, Sienna hasn't sat down and thought about it and decided, okay, I'm the problem, let me fix that. Instead, her approach has been, they're telling me that I'm the problem, but I don't see it. They're the problem. Let me tell you guys something about accountability. You cannot hold somebody accountable if you refuse to hold your own self accountable. If you see everything that person is doing and feels the need to call it out and disrespect the person and say, but look at what you've done, but you fail to realize that, oh, maybe I have done this in the past, maybe I should fix this moving forward, then it's as if what you say is null and void about the other person. What you say about the other person is null and void if you're unable to see that in your own self. There's no self-reflection with this woman, only projection. So what really pissed me off is that they separate, right? She is talking to Greg. What's his name? Is his name Jonathan or Greg? Hold on, you guys. Let me try to get this right. What is his name? Greg. So Sienna is talking to Greg about him. She is wanting to gain clarity from a man's perspective about him. Right? And Greg is giving her context. Greg is saying, well, maybe he's not able to communicate the way he wants to communicate. Maybe what he wants to say doesn't come out how he means to. Essentially sticking up for him. Right? Explaining to her to give this man grace. Listen to this man. Maybe there will be clarity if you listen. Right? And so he goes ahead, Brandon, and decides, okay, let me hear a woman's perspective. And he goes and he speaks to Millie. And Millie is being very fair. She's like, I'm just like Sienna. So this is probably what she's feeling. This is probably why she's reacting this way. And she's giving him insight to understand her better. She walks in, sees them talking, and like Sienna does, she takes it negatively. She takes it to the left. She takes it to the dirt. She takes it to the garbage. She takes it to the holes. She takes it so negatively, and that speaks more so about her than it does about him. Because as a woman, I'm having a disagreement with my partner. He's seeking more clarity from another woman because I'm not being open. I'm not being understanding. I'm creating a communication barrier, right? So he goes to somebody to get more insight onto me, to hopefully communicate with me better, to hopefully understand me more. And instead I decide, oh, he's selling my business to another woman. So were you not confiding in Greg a while ago? I'm so confused. Were you guys not literally doing the same thing? You're aiming to get clarity from a man's perspective. He's aiming to get clarity from a woman's perspective, and you have an issue with that? Instead of looking at that and saying, oh, I see he's trying to understand me. Let me give him some props. At least he's trying to understand my perspective. At least he's trying to get insight from a woman. That was disgusting to see and extremely infuriating to see a woman behave in that manner. That was very disgusting. I've never been so disgusted since that fight. This woman is projecting. She's avoiding. She is negative. She's combative. She just wants to fight. It's either her way or no way. Tell me how this man is supposed to thrive in a relationship like this. This woman has issues. She has pain that she needs to work through. She has self-reflection that she needs to do. She needs to seek therapy, you guys. There is no way that this is a normal response to disagreement. There's no way that this is a normal response to being called out for something that you know you've been called out for before. Instead of working on that, you decide, nope, this is too much for me. Let me put it back on the man. When you already know his tea, you already know his history. You were okay with it before. You had no problem with it prior. What is your problem now? She's self-sabotaging this relationship because she feels like she's not good enough for this man. Because the way Brandon has been conducting himself and being calm, cool, and collected with this woman, being extremely assertive with this woman and very understanding with her and extremely patient, she's probably right. He should probably go look for somebody that's up to par or has similar communication styles like he does. Because Sienna, I'm disappointed and I'm disgusted. This is not the approach as a woman. And I think she's one of the older women in this group. Let me see. Not that age has anything to do with anything, but between Sienna and Diamond, either they're close in age or similar in age. But they're the oldest women in this cast. And to see Sienna act this way, calling this man out of his name, disrespecting this man, it's like we just came from physical abuse and now we're experiencing verbal abuse. This is crazy. Is the aim of this show to show us different kinds of abuse? Because I'm confused. I don't like it. And I feel like they're gonna be the next couple to leave. Because if she doesn't change her approach, I do not want Brandon to stick out anything with this woman. Leave. This is not healthy. And it's not going to get any better. She has issues with facing herself and her problems. I hope she changes this outlook next episode because I am not seeing it for her. I dislike her utterly for this. And the way this man was so calm with speaking to her and so gentle, it is making me even more angry. Because she doesn't come to match your energy. Huh? She comes to be worse off. She comes to be worse than you. She starts off in the gutter. She's coming for your jugular. If you even say anything about her, she's coming straight for your jugular. There's no matching of energies. It's like if you say one thing about me, I'm gonna cut you to the white meat. Where is this anger coming from, girl? Where is this self-destructive behaviors coming from? Anyways, you guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. Like, subscribe, and see you guys next time. Bye-bye.